I'm so glad to be here, and you're very, very, very lucky that I am here, because I am the most successful comedian in Atlanta, actually. I'm not the funniest, but I am the most successful, because I gauge my success in blowjobs. And so far, I haven't given any, so that's success.
My life is going fantastic right now. I'll tell you, I've just I took the summer off of my day job so I could do comedy full time, and I was just plugging in my dates to my calendar right now, and it's looking really good. It's the best it's ever been.
It's great that it's this late. When I do early shows, I usually have to get off work at the laundromat where I work, and last time I was going to a show, I crashed my car, so I was busy doing some math in the passenger seat about my 3-inch penis, right? You can't get good with a dog anywhere in Atlanta. Karate! Boom! It's an Asian joke.
But I do have a blog, and I try to update it once a week on Mondays at noon. It's my thoughts and my advice, and basically it's my experience up until this point in my career. I'm 2.5 years in, and I always try to embrace all the new comics I see. I answer a lot of questions. I've taught a couple stand-up comedy classes. I really believe that when I help other comedians, I'm helping the whole comedy community, because there's no definitive guide on how to have a stand-up comedy career.
Right, if somebody tells me they're from Korea, don't you have one more very important question for them? Which Korea? Yeah, exactly. The good Korea or South Korea? Yes, to be fair, I can't tell the difference either. They all look Chinese to me too, so.
I started off, Mitch Hedberg was one of the first guys whose album I would just listen to on repeat, and that's the kind of jokes I was trying to write. I was trying to make clever observations with funny little twists.
And there's other weird stereotypes too, like Asians, we mix up our L's and our R's. But did you know when a white person goes to China, they usually mix up the letters she and she? And who does that make sound like a leotard?
And it was kind of all right. And then I've taken a lot of comedy classes, and you get a lot of comedy advice about right from your life, right from your experiences. That's what I'm really focused on right now, is trying to just dissect my life, and anything that I find that's like, oh, that's a place I'm uncomfortable or awkward in real life.
But here's the thing I get all pissed off at, right? Why are there all these politically correct movements trying to get rid of hate speech? I mean, hate speech is terrible, but why don't we focus on getting rid of the hate behind the speech, huh? A little more important. Like there's that group, the Westboro Baptist Church, that's like the most hateful group in America. They go out and they hold up those signs that say God hates fags. Like, that is really intolerant. Because I'm sure there's probably atheists that hate fags too, right? I think we should make that sign more inclusive. Let's change that from God to no one, just in case it doesn't exist. So then they'll go out there with those signs that say, no one hates fags. They'll stare at them.
If you can be honest about that on stage, it's so empowering. I keep telling people this, and it's one of those things, it's so easy to say, but it's so hard to do. Like, talk about your biggest fears and the things. The more embarrassed you would be to say it to a friend in casual conversation, the stronger it will be as material on the stage.
But I love superhero movies. Last year you had the new X-Men movie come out. There was like a franchise reboot, and all these people were saying, oh, you know what's cool about the X-Men? It's like this allegory. It's sort of like the gay rights movement, right? You're like, maybe, but it might also just be about tolerance of people that read comic books. Because that is another group in America of people that can't have kids for a totally different reason. In fact, if you got all those comic book kids together, you'd probably make a movie called The No Sex Men.
And the awesome thing about when you get to be that honest, and I'm not even where I'd love to be, but I'm getting there. When you say those things that you would hate to say, you take so much control and power over them. Because I'll say things that I'm terrified of. And the audience will come up to me afterwards and they'll be like, I can't believe that. That's not you. So I try to do this comedy thing professionally, and all my friends are comics, right? And so some of them will brag to me. They'll be like, hey, Jamie, I saw Mitch Hedberg when he was still alive. And I'll tell them, I believe that was the best time to see him. People joke, I do comedy because it's cheaper than therapy, but if you're doing it right, it absolutely is the same thing and more beneficial. Sharing the things you are most afraid of and your personal flaws and getting over them.
For those of you that do know me, I went on a date last week, and that's for those of y'all that know me, you've never heard me say that before, because I'm not smooth with women. I thought I'd be good at talking to women because I grew up in a household with 3 generations, right? My sister, mom, and grandma, and it didn't make me good at talking to girls. But I'll tell you what it did do. It made me good at pretending I'm happy. I learned to fake a smile very early. We never got to do what I wanted to do at nights. What movie are we gonna watch tonight? The Expendables or The Notebook? Think I ever won that argument, fellas? No, I never got to see The Notebook. I heard it was great.
The biggest thing you get is not this credit of, hey, I just shared the stage with somebody awesome. Use that time to listen to everything that comedian has to share.
She turned out to be an Asian girl, and like I said, I was raised by white parents. I really am pretty racist. All Asian people look the same to me. So I'm not that attracted to Asian women because I feel like that's just going on a date with myself, right? I am not nearly as interesting to talk to as I thought I was.
And I've gotten some awesome advice from one of the big guys that I worked with. It was like a 20-year veteran of the industry. Go out there and tell some jokes on stage. You don't have to be good. You don't have to kill. You don't have to be deep. If you need to go on the internet, go. Just learn to tell a joke on stage. Learn to make people laugh. Make the audience laugh. Learn what that feels like, and then you'll get it. You'll never have the opportunity to develop into a great comedian if you don't have that time making people laugh, because you won't get the opportunity to go on stage if you can't make people laugh ever.
Have you ever been caught in public having sex?
Never been caught.
Never. Okay. I've been caught twice this week watching, which is totally different, but it's still in public, right?
I think everybody's trying to start off as George Carlin, as Richard Pryor. Like it's okay to be a hacky one-liner comic when you start. I hate listening to the tape I have of the first set I ever did. I mean, I remember how cool I thought it was. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got so many laughs there. And I listened to that. I'm like, that is terrible now. And I know in a couple years I'll look back at what I'm doing now, and I won't believe how bad I was. But I only got to grow because I've been doing this like every opportunity I could.
What do you want me to joke about? I said I'd never ever say that in a comedy. What do you guys want to talk about? Into my head? Oh, that's frightening. That's scary. You know why? Because it's not that exciting. Trademark law.
Don't ever give up on a show. Don't ever give up on an audience. Unless you're physically removed from the stage, respect your time. If you're supposed to get off. But don't let the audience dictate the pace of your show.
But so I grew up in cowboy culture. I wanted to be a bull rider. I went to the rodeo in Van Wert, Ohio in 2006, and I rode 2 bulls. And here's the thing: I thought cowboys got all the women. Good cowboys get all the women. Korean cowboys get concussions, and it's like
I'm a broken individual. I quit stand-up every 3 months. It seems like I have this track record of just saying like I'm never getting back on stage. I don't want it. I'm happier in my life without it, and I can't stay away. But those breaks have been some of the best things for me ever. Some of the biggest accomplishments I have come like right after those breaks, because it's what you're doing when you're not doing comedy. That's where I get all my comedy from.
Down on you is brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.